Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Pisces. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. In today's reading, we are going to be looking at an area of focus in your life that your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Now we'll dive a little deeper into that area of focus. We'll take a look at a block or a challenge. We'll look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that. And then we'll look at a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you there. So let's jump right in. All right, Pisces, let's see what you're sitting with right now. Okay, so the energy that you're sitting with is the Five of Wands. Now this can be one where when this is internal energy, this is like a little bit of like internal chaos where there's a lot of voices trying to come in, or there's a lot of things that maybe you want to do and you're trying to figure out how to prioritize them. This energy can be one of competition. It can be one where it's slightly chaotic, and it can be one where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people trying to give advice, too many people trying to assert themselves. And when this is internal, this could literally be different versions of yourself trying to assert themselves. This could be that inner voice kind of telling you, like, do this, do that, do that. Like there's a sense of kind of frenetic energy where there's a lack of focus and a little bit too much of, I want to try this or I want to try that. Now, for some of you, you could be getting ready to actually kind of go back out there and test a skill set in a new setting. You could be looking to maybe go back out into the dating world. There is a sense sometimes when this card comes out of getting back on the horse. Oh, interesting. So we do have the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands, speaking about getting back out on the horse there. Now, this is the energy of what your soul is illuminating for you right now. So the area of focus with the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands, there's a sense of reevaluating freedom in your life, reevaluating what it feels like to be able to pursue a passion or to, I like to call it kind of get your hands dirty with living life. You know, the Knight of Wands is someone who sometimes can be seen as a little maybe unpredictable, someone who isn't maybe always going to stay the course, but it's someone who's free to go out and do what feels good. This is the individual who, if the fancy strikes them and they watch something about rock climbing and suddenly they're like, you know what, I'd love to rock climb. And they go out and they buy all the rock climbing gear and they go find a mountain to climb. You know, there's that kind of sense of freedom with the Knight of Wands. The Queen of Swords is the energy of really understanding your own story, of being able to look back, see all of the things that you've accomplished, the trials and tribulations you've overcome, what you've survived, and then how do you tell that story about yourself to others? So there's a sense here of really reflecting on the story around your own freedom, or the story around you being able to go out and do what feels good. Now, for some of you, this could also be maybe reflecting on your reliability, because again, the Knight of Wands isn't always seen as someone who is reliable. This can be someone who in a relationship kind of has one foot out the door. And with the Five of Wands inside, kind of happening internally, there's this sense of almost kind of being maybe at odds with yourself, or again, there might be a lot of passions or things that you want to try, and you're not quite sure how to apply that out in the physical world. So we're going to see what that looks like here. Now, we have the Ace of Cups at the bottom of your reading. This is your underlying energy. This is a fresh connection to the spiritual self or to your emotional self. Underneath that, we have the Ace of Swords. Wow. So two aces. So there's a sense of clarity and there's a sense of reconnection. So for some of you, with the Eight of Wands coming underneath this, there seems to have been recently a lot of things going on. It could have been a very busy holiday season. There might have been a lot of communication happening. Eight of Wands can sometimes speak to just a lot of activity. It can speak to a lot of things lining up in your life, but it can also speak to fast communication. So this could be, you know, you sending emails back and forth. This could be you on a dating app. This could be social media, things of that nature. And there's a sense here with whether this was communication or whether this was things happening in your life, a lot of activity, that through that there seems to have been a new truth that has come forward, a clarity perhaps for some of you as to maybe, again, when we're thinking about the area of focus, the illumination here, it's your own story or your own history around reliability, pursuing your passions, and the freedom to do so, or the freedom to commit as well. Because the Ace of Cups can also speak to new relationships, new opportunities, and love. And there could be something here for some of you coming through where maybe you've been communicating on a dating app or something like that, and suddenly there's this realization of connection. Or suddenly in all of the stuff that's been going on, you're realizing, oh my gosh, I kind of want to pull out some new moves. I want to free a part of myself to be able to maybe try new things in my life. Maybe the story you have is not about being unreliable. Maybe you've been almost too reliable, Pisces. So we'll see what else wants to come out here. Again, take it how it resonates, but there's definitely a new truth, a new clarity around love. And again, I always say the Ace of Cups is a fresh connection to the spiritual self, because it's almost like being handed back the cup that we all have. But we realize that it is truly always overflowing with love from the divine and love that we give to ourselves. In that cup as well are our needs, our dreams, our hopes, and sometimes we can lose sight of that. And so when we have these opportunities in life to kind of be handed back that cup and be forced to look in it and say, oh my gosh, that's a dream I forgot about. That's a need I need to have met. And often this can come through the meeting of another person who allows you to see something about yourself. And again, there's that kind of fresh connection to, oh, wow, that's what I need more of in my life. And that's how we can sometimes, again, kind of almost kickstart that emotional connection to our life experience when we've been a little maybe emotionally disconnected. Now we have the Queen of Swords as your main point of challenge. So here she comes again. So there's a sense here of when the Queen of Swords is in a challenge position like this is kind of bringing out the negative side to the Queen of Swords, which is where instead of maybe telling an empowering story about herself or all the things she's overcome, she can sometimes tell a jaded story about herself or about her perception of the world. So there can be that sense of her, maybe her story was she was always unlucky in love, or she was always working for a workplace that took advantage of her work ethic, something along those lines. So then she applies that to every work environment or every relationship. And there's a sense of telling a story then that doesn't leave room for others to come in and share their perspective and for the individual to hear that. So there could be a little bit of that coming through here for you. Now the Queen of Swords is Libran energy as well. So there can be a sense with when Libra comes in of being very calculative, wanting to weigh up, both sides of a story. But there can also be a sense with Libra of there's always the balance and the scales coming through. And so there's a sense maybe for some of you that there's almost like a trying to tell a story that comes across as maybe fair and balanced, but is it your story? It's hard for me to explain how it's coming through right now. This is kind of a strange message, but there's a sense here for some of you, I think, with the Three of Pentacles coming in after this, that the Three of Pentacles is collaborating with others. It's building something with an eye towards the future. And it's getting together with like-minded individuals or other people who have a skill set that can help create or build that something for the eye to the future to come together. Now, for some of you, this could actually be kind of a jaded story around failed collaborations. This could be one where you kind of don't want to be the one to join the group, or you don't want to join the project and be a part of something with a bunch of other people. There could be that sense of it, saying, like, I just want to, be free to do my own thing. I don't want to actually commit to the building of something. But it can also be where maybe there's been a sense of trying to play it a little safe. as well, with that Libran energy coming in. And then we have the Queen of Wands at the heart of your reading. This is advice from Spirit as to really how to overcome the block around the Queen of Swords. Queen of Wands, she comes in and it's like, boom. She is, for me, every time I see, especially in this deck with this image, I always think of the Scarlett O'Hara character from Gone with the Wind, where when she enters, all eyes are on her. There's that kind of fiery sense to the Queen of Wands. Now, what's interesting here is that we have Libra and we have Aries. This is two energies, and this is where the nodes of the moon are currently. We have the south node of the moon in Libra, and we have the north node of the moon in Aries. So we are all, as a collective, really being kind of pushed to release perhaps old ways of how we suppressed the I, or suppressed certain parts of ourselves in relationships specifically, to kind of make peace. And this could even be like telling a story that doesn't actually highlight everything you're great at. This could be like saying, oh, I don't want to come across as boastful or bragging or something like that. When in reality, you're being told here with the Queen of Wands, where we have the North Node now. So as a collective, we're all kind of being pushed to step into our full power as the I, which is what Aries is. Aries is the I am in the tarot, in the Zodiac. And so there's a sense here of kind of getting, I think, like a little out of your head, Pisces, and more into the like, here I am ready to be seen. And yes, it's almost like talking yourself up a little bit. There's a sense here coming through very much, Pisces, of it's time to be seen. It's time to kind of stop playing it safe. There's almost a sense here of trying to also calculate, I think, how something needs to be built. And there's a sense of like, just bring your passion, because we got a lot of wands in here. We have the Five of Wands, which is what you're sitting with. We have the Knight of Wands over here. We have the Eight of Wands. There's that sense of like, it's time to step into the fiery part of yourself, that passionate part, and bring that to the table. Because on the other side of this, what's waiting to come in for you is the Nine of Cups. That's a heart's wish. That's a lot to be grateful for. It's abundance and on the emotional level, on the emotional plane. And then your final card here is the Princess of Pentacles, which is technically the Page of Pentacles in this deck. Bottom of the cup, bottom of the deck, second underlying energy is the Six of Cups. So Nine of Cups and Princess of Pentacles or Page of Pentacles. This is about what can you go out there and offer? There's a sense here with the Three of Pentacles of, again, collaboration, of wanting to come together with others to build something with an eye towards a larger future goal. The Queen of Swords is someone who maybe she could even tell a story of either your own unreliability in partnering up or other people. This could be like saying, I don't want to commit to building a home and family life with someone because in the past it didn't work out for me. And you're like almost like having like an internal battle with yourself with the Five of Wands over here about that. Or this could be like saying, it's almost like trying to overthink a project, or overthink a collaboration, or overthink bringing a skill set to the table, maybe even talking up your own skill set, because there's that sense of, I want to keep the peace. I don't want to be seen as the Queen of Wands. I don't want to be seen like I'm boastful or like, here I am. But with the Page of Pentacles coming in as your last point, there's a sense of a heart's wish coming through, but first you have to go out there and show the world what you have to offer, because that's what the Page of Pentacles does. They take their pentacle, the one pentacle they bring to the collaboration, and they take it out into the world. Now, this could be a skill set. This could be a little bit of money. This could be the home life that you've just solidified for yourself, and you want to start offering, or maybe you have some time on your hands. Pentacles can refer to anything in the physical experience. And there's a sense of saying, offering it up to others, to say, here it is, or it could even be a business, something like that. Like, here's my services. But you're being asked to be seen for that. There's a sense of kind of, again, Pisces, getting out of this humble aspect and getting into this place of being seen, of getting to this place of it's time to kind of stand in your own power. And that could be something with the Knight of Wands. Maybe, again, in the past, you maybe had been a little non-committal in certain areas of your life. You maybe had bounced from here to there, whatever. And now there's a sense of it saying it's time now to stand, kind of plant yourself. The Queen of Wands, when she comes up, always makes me think of blooming where you're planted, because she can make literally flowers grow in a barren desert. That's usually the imagery that comes through on the Queen of Wands. And there's that sense of finding your own magic and of really kind of digging your heels in and saying, no matter where I am, I'm going to make my environment reflect what I'm passionate about, reflect my own magic that I bring. And there is this kind of calling to do that. And in so doing, and kind of digging in your heels and committing, there's a sense committing to the I am. Remember that as well. So committing to yourself and really showing what you have to offer. A heart's fulfillment, a heart's wish will be coming in, because we have the Ace of Cups with the Nine of Cups equals the 10 of Cups. And that is the happy family card. That is emotional fulfillment. That is, I like to call it touching a little piece of heaven on earth through our emotional experience when we get to the 10 of Cups. Now, the 6 of Cups is making peace with the past. This is when we get to have a new perspective, perhaps on our past self or past events, and we get to, on an emotional level, see it in a new way. And in doing so, we get to glean a lesson from the past, a gift from the past that we get to bring forward. And that can be very beautiful. This could be like, again, making peace maybe with a part of yourself that was maybe unreliable or non-committal in the past. This could be making peace with maybe a part of yourself that never allowed yourself to really stand in your own power. This could be making peace with maybe not allowing yourself to be free for a long period of time. There's something about that coming through here. Okay, so I'm going to pull some additional clarifiers, and we're going to see what else wants to come through. But there's a sense between the 5 and the Queen. It's like it's time to kind of cut out the noise, whether this is external to you and you're kind of caught up in it. This could be people maybe having their opinion as to what you should do or shouldn't do. This could be internal. Again, it's almost like too many passions are coming up, too many things, and it's time to just kind of funnel that into the one, into it kind of being your entire life. And there's a sense with the queens as well that they are, they're receptive, they're open to what's around them as well. But the queens and the kings can also be socially responsible. There's a sense of that kind of, getting to that level of authority in your life. Now with the Queen of Swords, yes, I figured we have the 5 of Swords. This is the person who doesn't want to hear another perspective or opinion. This is the person who just wants to get the last word in, or who wants to win at all cost. So there's a little bit coming through here, Pisces, for some of you, that you're fighting incoming energy. And I think for many of you, because when we think of because here's the 8 of Wands again. When we think of the 8 of Wands can be where things are lining up in our life, kind of pushing us in a new direction, possibly. It's kind of like jumping into the flow of your life. This could be, where somebody is like, hey, do you want to join our team? Do you want to collaborate with us? And you're like, no, I don't even want to hear it. Like, I'm too stressed. I got too much stuff, 5 of Wands, too much stuff going on. The last time I tried to commit, something totally didn't work out, and I'm just going to keep going it alone. Or it's just too much going on in my life right now. Something like that. It could also be where maybe you're communicating, again, on a dating app with someone. And they're like, hey, do you want to get together? And, you really seem great. Let's go out on a date. Would you like to maybe get a little more serious? And you're like, I can't even. It's too much too fast. Something like that. And again, what your soul's illuminating for you. What is the story around reliability, committing, following passions? There's something coming through about that for you now. But don't fight the movement that's coming in for you. Don't fight the opportunities. Don't fight... sometimes I can feel like we're getting swept up in the tide, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, my life is moving too. This could be like where you make a house move and you make a house move, get engaged. Your job asks you to, promote you to a new, level of authority, something like that, where all this stuff happens really fast. Or it can be something, again, like where you're jumping into like, hey, I'm going to just start dating somebody. And all of a sudden that date turns into, you spending every second with someone else. And all of a sudden in 6 months, you're like, let's move in together. And you're like, oh my God, what? It's like that kind of thing. But there's something about when it happens like that, it's easier to go with the flow of tide and just let it kind of sweep you away than to try to fight it, which is the Five of Swords. Because when we try to fight that, and that can also be the Five of Wands too, to a certain extent, that instead of going with kind of the area in our life that's just moving and just saying, okay, wow, I can just kind of sit back and move with it. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, like, wow, things are kind of lining up for me. There's almost a sense, Pisces, of fighting it, of saying, it's a little scary. I don't know where this is taking me. Instead of just being like, thank you, because so you have two queens coming in. There's that sense of, again, opening, receptivity, a sense of the Queen of Wands almost is like going to plant herself and say, bring it, bring all those wands to me. Make it happen. So let's see about this Three of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, there's a sense here. Okay, so the Ten of Coins and we have the Six of Swords. So there is for some of you a moving on. This could portend a house move for some of you. It could be moving on for maybe, the Ten of Pentacles can represent kind of everything we've amassed up to this point. It can represent a house, and all your possessions. It can represent even like a business, something along those lines. And with the Six of Swords, this is moving on. This is, it can also represent sometimes literally a physical move. So for some of you, there is a sense of maybe having to leave behind something that you had previously worked towards. So it could be like moving on from a home, moving on from having amassed a certain level of savings for something. Or it could be moving on from maybe, a tenure working for a lengthy period of time at a certain place. And then there's the Three of Pentacles, which is saying it's almost like taking whatever you have from that and bringing it into a new collaboration. So this could be like saying, I'm moving out of my house and in with someone else. I'm moving on from being maybe 25 years in one a place of work, and I'm going to now take this. Maybe you're joining with two other people and you're maybe becoming contractors and starting your own firm. It can be something along those lines. But there's a sense of kind of shaking it up a little bit, of having to move on from something that's been long-standing, something that you've amassed. It's probably taken quite a while to accumulate. Yeah, and here we have the Sun coming in for the Queen of Wands. This is illumination, true illumination of the most inner vulnerable part of the self. It can also be children. So for some of you, there could be a child coming through in here for you. The Knight of Cups speaks to the individual who wants to go on that romantic quest. There's a level of kind of optimism, of sharing your cup with others. I love this combination with the Knight of Cups and the Sun, because the Knight of Cups is Piscean energy in the tarot. So there's almost like a sense of a illumination of that hopeful optimism, that kind of an innocent quality, but not as innocent, let's say, as the Page of Cups. There's more the sense of looking to the world with fresh eyes, with like a hopefulness, and with the Sun, there's almost like this reconnection to that the true core part of yourself that yearns to be free. And that's the part that you're being asked to shine out into the world. That's where the magic lies within. That's really where you're meant to come, almost like as this naked baby into the world. Now, it could also be, for some of you, there might be a child involved here, and you're being asked to kind of step into your power with this child. But I'm getting more than anything that it's almost like reconnecting on an emotional level to yourself, to the most innocent part of yourself, but from a place where you want to share it with others. There's an optimism, a hopefulness. Okay, with the Nine of Cups, you have the King of Wands. You have a lot of Leo energy in here too. So you could have Leo in your chart. There could be a Leo in your life. But what's interesting is we have, the Queen of Wands and you have the King of Wands. So there could almost be the sense of attracting a partnership into your life, whether this is romantic or whether this is, because this would make for a kind of divine counterpart, right? Two people who are equally passionate, two people who are fiery, two people who stand and lead from a place of what they are passionate about. And with the Nine of Cups, with that sense of kind of what is that heart's wish? With the High Priestess coming in, it says on a deep level, Pisces, you know what that wish is. And it has something to do with either drawing towards you a partner. Doesn't mean, again, be it man or woman, it doesn't matter. Anybody can embody feminine or masculine energy. But it's almost like you're being asked to kind of turn on your light of who you are to draw towards you a King of Wands energy. And again, this could be drawing towards you a business partner, a romantic partner, because the King of Wands can sometimes be seen as, the fiery, dynamic CEO kind of energy. There's an uncompromising quality around what they're passionate about. But there could be a sense here with the High Priestess of, you know what your heart is yearning for. You know what you're hoping to bring towards you. And it is a divine counterpart in some way. So we have, for the Page of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Coins. So this is the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Two of Cups. I love that. So there's a sense here of going out with your skill set. Okay, we have the Four of Cups. That's interesting. The Four of Cups came out in the exact same place for Aquarius as well. So Two of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, there is a sense of connection with others, intimate connection. Two of Cups, partnership, two people bringing their cup to cup. There's a sense of support with the Two of Cups. Queen of Pentacles is someone who is ready to dedicate themselves. They are focused on their pentacle and they know that it takes a long time to grow a seed into that oak tree. And the Queen of Pentacles is going to be the individual who takes that seed and is patient and understands the resources that it needs to take to be able to grow that seed into the future vision for what you're hoping it will grow into. And so there's almost a sense of connecting with others from that space. With the Page of Pentacles, it's almost like going out there with your cup to find another individual who wants to commit to growing. There is something here around motherhood for some of you possibly, or becoming a parent. It's almost like, in a way, going out there and it's like showing the world, what you have to offer. And there is very much that coming through, showing the world what you have to offer, so that you attract to yourself. Now again, we're not being asked to be boastful, just for the sake of being boastful or prideful. There's a sense of standing in your full authority and power. We don't have, let's say, the Emperor coming through, but the Queen of Wands is someone who is going to be seen. She comes in and she says, here I am, kind of take it or leave it. But with the Sun and the Knight of Cups, it's a take it or leave it, but with this underlying sense of that emotional vulnerability of take it or leave it, but I'm going to come from this optimistic, rose-colored view of everyone's going to take it, kind of thing. And I look forward to seeing who I'm going to meet cup to cup. And for many of you, there is a sense of kind of almost like having like a spider web out there of like building this beautiful spider web of who you are, sharing what your talents are, sharing what you have, and that it will attract your divine counterpart, be it, again, a business partner, be it a maybe even a best friend, with the Two of Cups coming in, or be it a romantic partnership. And it is, but first it's going to take you kind of going out there into the world to show the coin that you have. It's like you've moved on from something else that you've had to leave behind here earlier. And now you're going out there to find a new person who might share the same vision that you have. So this might be like maybe moving on from a workplace that maybe just, you amassed a lot of maybe money and skills from working there for a long period of time, but maybe what you were hoping to build at one point just isn't going to happen. A long time ago, I left a business for that very reason, actually, where I had kept hoping they were going to open up a new location, and I was hoping that I would get an additional level of training and skills from that, and it just never happened. And when I was finally told it wasn't going to happen, it was like, okay, well then what am I doing here? I need to go out there then and find someone who is going to provide that experience, and that's exactly what I had to do. Kind of the same thing. This could be like moving on from a past relationship, and maybe part of that was the Eight of Wands. There was a level of things lining up that was pushing you away from someone and into what's happening here, and you had to move on, or you could have gotten a communication, something along those lines. But it could be that you had to move on, maybe leave a home behind, leave belongings behind with that past relationship, and now it's like it's time to turn on your heart light, time to really shine, time to speak and show who you are, so that you start to attract the person who does want to kind of join your team, be it romantic, be it business, what have you. Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This is your third underlying energy, and there's a sense here of kind of just feeling a general level of dissatisfaction with your life experience. But that dissatisfaction comes because you're withholding your cup from the Three Cups down here. There's a sense of not kind of wanting to join the party, or not, again, with the Knight of Cups, going out there to see who wants to join your cup, or to go out there on that romantic quest to see what you will find, that there is more to life than just the Three Cups sitting next to you. So there's a sense of kind of opening up and broadening your horizons at the same time. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to pull a final card now, Pisces. Actually, I'm going to pull two cards. I'm going to pull this first card. I'm going to pull one from a new deck that I've been playing around with, that I've been having fun. So I will pull one from there too, just to start to introduce that deck into my readings. So let's see here, Pisces. What wants to come through here for you? Okay, we have the fourth ray of harmony with the number 6. I always think it's funny that they'll have like the fourth ray, but then it's not number 4, it's a different number. But I do love the number 4 and the number 6 together. For those of you who watched some of my other videos, I do talk about this. Numbers do play a really interesting, intuitive role in my life. And the number 6 and the number 4 coming together, to me, it creates a wholeness, because it does create the number 10, which then reduces to the number 1. So there's kind of that roundness of endings and beginnings, and the wholeness in that number 10. But with the 6 and the 4, the number 6 resonates with the energy of love and what we can create in the physical through the energy of love. And the number 4 is about building firm foundations and hard work. So there's that sense of kind of, again, building something that has a resonance of wholeness and completeness to the self through the energy of love. And that's harmony, right? So let's get in here to see what this says. So it says, the fourth ray of harmony comes to you now with the qualities of beauty, harmony, and balance. It empowers you to complete a spiritual initiation. Excuse me. Any conflict you experience now serves your divine purpose. It will eventually become the fuel you need to be born anew. Something negative will be transformed into something positive. The Archangel Gabriel helps you to receive the blessing of the fourth ray of harmony now. Now, for some of you, keep this in mind. You might have already gone through this, and so kind of bringing it up again in your life experience to really be able to see how far you've come, especially with the 6 of Cups. There's a sense of maybe being able to look back and see where you are here, and to make peace with maybe what was happening here, what had to be kind of left behind. So it says, when the fourth ray of harmony is active in your life, you are approaching spiritual initiation, which creates a whole new person, a new you. Initiation may begin with feeling torn between two choices or realities. You may wonder if you have what it takes to get through this. You do. As you discover your strength to be patient with the process rather than trying to force an outcome prematurely, eventually you will outgrow the conflict altogether, emerging as a wiser, more powerful you. You will have gained a positive outcome from what was once considered to be a negative situation. When the fourth ray of harmony becomes stronger in your soul, avoid becoming scattered, out of balance, or swinging from one extreme to the other in thoughts, actions, and emotions. You will need to keep grounding yourself and being moderate rather than all or nothing in your life choices. This will create your successful outcome more swiftly than trying to force something to happen immediately. The challenge and the gift with the fourth ray of harmony is the increased sensitivity to beauty it engenders. Music takes on a whole new emotional depth. The beauty or chaos in your environment, and even the colors you wear, has more impact on you than usual. You can use this increased sensitivity to your advantage by choosing art, music, colors, and so on that feel good for you. The mainstream is still operating in a fear-based energy. With increased sensitivity, you can at times be more affected by this. If you are experiencing increased negativity, depression, doubt, fear, or emotional instability, this is likely why. You can overcome this without shutting down. When you sense it happening, respond with a loving discipline. You might meditate, journal, dance, create art, listen to music, exercise, have a bath, or spend time in nature to bring yourself back to balance. This ray has a special connection to the arts and guides you to create. You are encouraged to trust your own creativity, to enjoy it and use it to help heal yourself and perhaps others too. When Archangel Gabriel enters your life, there will be an emphasis on the use of sound for healing and balance. So the words you use, affirmations for example, and the invocations in this deck will be very powerful. So will music. You may use sound to help balance and restore your energy. You'll know when it has worked because you will feel happier and find life simpler. You may not immediately solve an issue, but start doing what you need to take care of yourself, knowing resolution is on its way. Okay, and then finally here we'll pull a final card from, let's see, what is this deck called again? It's the Wild Elemental Oracle. We'll see what wants to come out as a final message for you, Pisces. What does Pisces need to know as a final message? Sometimes new decks are a little tricky with things coming out. Let's see. What does Pisces need to know as a final message? We have Roadrunner, number 43. Let's see here. So Roadrunner. So it's associated with the energy of air. And it says Roadrunner attributes: proper use of speed, understanding rapid change, agility, evading capture through quickness. Just like the cartoon from years ago, which pitted a certain coyote against his nemesis, the Roadrunner bursts into your life to put you on notice that you will need to make some quick decisions in the near future. There are ideas that you have percolated, possibly waiting for the exact right time to implement. Well, that time is here and now. Stop waiting. Trust that you have everything you need to move forward with your ideas and plans. Muster up all the motivation you need, break it down into small steps, and then go. Alternately, like our cartoon buddy, this may be a warning that there may be roadblocks ahead. But know that by being present, aware, and trusting in your capabilities, you'll be able to think on your feet and turn these roadblocks to your advantage. So I do love that. There is a sense here of something, again, of showing your skill set, owning something that you really want, owning that heart's wish, because it is going to bring towards you, again, just like what it says here, there's a chance to really show what you're made of and implement something now. Whether that, again, could be a relationship, it could be a new business idea, it could be, you name it. But there is something beautiful coming in for you, and you have the energy and the movement here. You got the Eight of Wands, and there's a sense of don't fight the tide, let it come. And when you think of a roadrunner, the roadrunner can almost run in front of the tide if they want. But why need to do that when things are lining up for you here? It's almost just about showing what you're capable of, what you have to offer, and there's someone coming in who is really, I think, going to help bring a lot of harmony and peace to your life experience. All right, I will leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If you'd like to book your own personal reading where you take a look at an area of your life that needs a little illumination, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next illumination reading. Bye, Pisces.